Ah, yeah. Finally. A different game to play, huh?
So trainer, are you winning now?
Wait, what are you doing here?
Bakushin 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 shin.
Uh, okay.
3 crowns. Let's go.
So can you help me to at least, grind for me then?
Oh well, I guess that's just how it is.
Oh, I wish we can have that kind of system here, huh?
Yeah. Oh well, I wonder where good shit is. Johnny? Umamusume Pretty Derby.
You know those horse girl memes that you see in the social media nowadays? Yep, that is literally that. Okay, like firstly, I was actually pretty hesitant to play this game because just like every other gacha game out there, you just realize, oh man, this gacha game is one of the top contenders of the top three spaces in terms of like how much a gacha revenue could get. And Umamusume is usually able to top them sometimes, and it's crazy because you always think horror games are like the always the top ones, right? But there are some points in the time where Umamusume's earnings are just way over the top, and it just surpasses that even of a Hoyo game. So it's crazy. So because of that, right, I would think like my first thinking would be like, oh, Umamusume is probably a very pay to win game. And I did not really think that much about it. And that's how I actually perceive, this game from the start. I mean, they also have released like anime, 3 anime seasons already. And if you're interested in their story or behind them, you can probably just watch that and don't really need to play the game. But eventually, curiosity kills the cat, and I had to salvage her. So unfortunately, deep, I had to like dive into the rabbit hole that is Umamusume Pretty Derby. Okay, so because that is also the first ever month that the game is actually released globally on Steam and also on Android and iOS devices, if I'm not wrong. So it's very intriguing to see like how this game actually become so viral nowadays because the game that we actually are getting now is actually pretty outdated considering the fact that the Japanese version is probably already like 2 years ahead of us. So, this game is actually pretty. Yeah, there's a lot of anniversary games that's going to arrive in the future. There's no doubt about it. And the game is definitely going to run more than that because it's not exactly published by a different publisher. So if it's from Side Games, it should be fine. But man, going into this game, I'm actually started with whatever I have, and I can say that I'm kind of pretty lucky, I suppose, because at first, just like every other people who are playing this game for first time blindly, I just spend all my, carrots on just pulling, and then after the tutorial, I just try to pull whatever I can, and then maybe exchange for the SSR uh, Uma that I actually like, which is Symboli Rudolf. Unfortunately, I haven't really, get her past the middle of the career yet, unfortunately, but maybe one day I will. But I think I am very lucky because in just 30 pulls, I managed to get Maruzensky and also, the raid up banner, which was Biwa Hiyahide. I don't really think you need these horses, to be honest. They are totally, completely, kind of different horses, but in terms of like inheritance and legacy stats, I think having these horses to start is already pretty decent for me. Especially like Symboli Rudolf is already a very good Uma to have your speed and stamina to be inherited, and I think that is actually pretty decent. And hopefully I can get like higher stats in the future for her and stuff like that. And Marozensky is also wow. She's just she's just drifting the corner or something like an initial D horse or something, right? Like not she's just a literal front runner, and for the most part, a front runner is a horse that stays in the front constantly, and she is able to keep it for the most part, unless if the other horses have more stats, I guess. But other than that, right, she is going to be your very easy starter that can actually like reach to the end of the URA finals in the career pretty easily because of how, you know, how speed oriented she is, and of course with some width and maybe a balance of stamina and power, she is actually able to perform very well, especially like if you look at the result that I actually got from my first ever player of my career. Yeah, I did not really win the URA finale, but it's okay. She also managed to somehow get second place after using a clock, by the way. So yeah, that's insane. Like the fact that I actually able to do that, right? It after I reading like watching like several walkthrough guides, then I actually kind of get the groove and I kind of understood how to actually play the game now. The career mode is particularly pretty interesting. Now, unfortunately, in one day, you can only play like several career modes. And if you want to play more than maybe four, you probably need to refresh. But yeah, if you think you have a very good chance of maybe able to win, maybe you could actually use the refresher, but it's not really encouraged, I guess. It's probably for when there's more scenarios out there in the future. But yeah, in the starting, I guess this game's launch, they give you a lot of like rewards. Definitely, you know, every single gacha games launches is always going to be like that. But if you actually tend to like enjoy re-rolling in gacha games like this, actually it's fine. You can actually wait until the July 16 when they actually release the new banner that has the Kitasan Black or something. I think that is like that is actually a way better banner for you to re-roll. And yeah, sure. Unfortunately, the support card featured in the latest banner is not really that good. So people usually opt in to just roll on the normal ones, the special week one, which is the normal one, and the support card that is the normal ones, which included the Tokai Teo there. If you are able to get something like Super Creek, if you are able to get something like, you know, if I'm not wrong, another Tokai Teo's card or something. I think a lot of times speed SSR cards are very useful. And since the start of the game, they usually give you like a one SSR redeem ticket and one SSR support card ticket for you to use. So in case you don't really have enough decent SR support cards, you probably can use that to, you know, use that as the starting point as well. But it will really depend on what kind of Uma you wanted to race with. A lot of people usually just race with whatever they had in their first roll, and I think it's fine. The 2-star Umas that you get, they are not exactly the 3-star versions, but when you collect enough like fragments, star fragments of them, you can actually unlock them into their 3-star units form. So that's actually pretty nice as well. That means you can kind of get to try their trial versions or some sorts until you can actually get their premium versions. And in this game, why is this game then a lot of people are spending a lot of money? Well, it's more like if they love the horse or if they wanted to obtain a certain horse that, you know, fulfills their agenda or fulfills their goals. Maybe if that certain horse have a certain skill that is very decent, like if I'm not wrong, a lot of acceleration skills are really great. Like I'm not exactly sure why, but accelerations or increasing velocity skills, they are usually the top contenders for like the best ever meta skills, you know. And there's unfortunately a definite meta you can actually see, and there's definitely a tier list in terms of like which Uma can perform better than the others. And yeah, I mean, sure, but the thing is, you could actually bypass your weaknesses by literally just increasing the stats that you're weak at. So, for example, if you have a good legacy parent, you can technically bypass your weaknesses and sometimes even increase your value, increase the value of the rankings that you can actually perform in a certain race pacing or in certain tracks as well. So it's pretty interesting to see like how you can actually strategize around building your race horses or horse girls just so you can actually bring them to victory. And it takes time, practice and skill and repetition, and understanding and remembering which choices are the best to make, and so on. If you don't really understand how to play the game at the first time, it's okay to fail, just like how I fail a lot of times already. I was stuck in like the career mode in the middle part because it was really hard. It was that one point where they try to um eliminate you early on if you don't really have the proper stats, or if you don't really run with the proper cards. You usually will just get eliminated very early on, even before the summer event actually rolls around. So unfortunately, this is the kind of career mode where you strategy is above everything. Like, if you don't, I don't really want to go into like how to play this game, but the depth itself is enough to actually make you to want to play the game. And for a lot of games like this, like idle games, right, I don't really feel like this game is really stressing me out. And in fact, I'm actually enjoying it as much more than I anticipated, because wow, horse race gambling, who would have known, right? Why is it so interesting this time, right? Well, it's because this time around you can bring in your support cards, you can borrow very great legacy parents from high ranking friends, just literally copy and press auto and increase your guess legacy parents, and then maybe also borrow one of their very highly invested cards as well, so that you can actually perform extremely well in the career mode. And then eventually, once you build enough amounts of high ranking, maybe around like B, A, and S horses, then maybe doing PvP is going to be viable by then. And all of that effort that you actually use to actually raise the horses in Korea is not really like wasted as well, because that is the important point. Because a lot of gacha games, right, they force you to pull for certain characters because the character is only good if they have this partner and this partner, or this support character, or this certain character, right? So that's the problem with a lot of gacha games nowadays, that you need to pull this character, or else your main DPS is not going to perform as optimally as without this character. So in this game, however, it's not about your horse. I mean, sure, certain horses have better skills than others. Yes, certain horses have more stats, or maybe better stats to compete against each other. However, even horses like Haru Urara can win. Like, she is just a one-star horse, by the way, but everybody has her, and everybody strives to actually make her to win races, because she, in her own story, right, in real life, this horse actually never won a single tournament at all, but she never gave up. She literally ran for over 100 races and never won one of them. And she managed to won like one race only after she retires, and that's just insane. Okay, that's the reason why she gone viral, and that's the reason why everybody just loves her. And that's the reason why she is also able to win in tournaments, despite how stacked the whole other contenders are. And it's just so nice when you're actually able to build an underdog Yuma character, and then you just manage to make them win as a first place in the end. And also, like, meme horses such as Goat Ship is just crazy when she's able to pull off the N chasing racer, which means that she's going to literally put every single hard work she gets into the last stride. Like, that's just insane to see her catching up and like overtake every single opponents. But for now, I have only managed to clear the career once using Maruzensky, and I intend to clear the whole career also using my Biwa and Symboli Rudolf as well. So hopefully those horses can actually provide a very, very good stats as well once they clear the career mode. And just know this, right? Each horses have their own goals. Certain horses have very easy goals, and I'm not gonna lie to you because like Maruzensky's goals is extremely hard at the end because she had to, obtain the first place no matter what in the last 3 races. So if you don't really have enough speed, you usually is going to have a hard time to even place top 3. But luckily, if you have enough stats, if you have the if you actually follow a very, very decent trainer who is very, very high level or very high rank, so at least you can borrow their legacy Umas, and then you can maybe get a leap ahead by just extra stats, and hopefully you are able to win with that. And the inspirations that was provided from these legacy Umas are like the most important thing in this game. So yeah, make sure to go to the PvP ranking boards and try to add in the highest ranking person you can actually see, so that you can actually get to borrow their horses, so you can actually do extremely well in the career mode. And that is literally my tips for you. So of course, sure. What is my overall view on this game is that, well, it's amazing. If you don't really care to rush, or you don't really want to waste any money at all, you can play this completely free to play and you'll be fine, because the free rewards are just decent enough for you to save up until the next great banner. And not to mention that they actually still are celebrating the launch event in a part 2 now. Unfortunately, I should have started earlier, but it's alright. Everybody should just start whenever they wanted to. Then this is a gacha game, right? So it's kind of optional if you really wanted to play another gacha game in your roster again. But I think this one is worthwhile because this is the game where a lot of Japanese salarymen would just spend their time racing their horses and betting on their horses, and trying to pull for the best horses whenever they finish working and whenever they are commuting to work or they're commuting back home. And I think this is the perfect kind of game for those very, very busy people to play. That's the reason why they are actually that popular as well, because horse racing is also a very huge thing actually in Japan as well. So yeah, the legacy of the horses that's leave behind always shine through. Their legacies, their legends, their lore, their whatever legendary feats that they actually did is reflected in these characters in Umamusume. So yeah, find a favorite horse and you'll probably be happy with her until you maybe find a much more decent horse to play with. But hey, I think everybody should have their own favorite, and as every other gacha games aside, you should always just play this game moderately. Don't go all in and spend all your money on pulling, because unfortunately the game gacha currency is not going to pull your pity forward anyway. So yeah, that's the reason why you need to save as much pool currency as possible, which is called a carrots, by the way. Pretty funny pun, I guess, but that's it. I think this is a game that is worthy of your attention, because I am going into this game literally having like zero expectations, but in the end I was just blown away by the race hypes and how you actually build your own horse girl and actually see them winning. Is just a feeling that is just indescribable, I guess. Even much more, I think that the feeling of actually winning the first place when you are in a tough competition is just amazing to see that happens. So yeah, anybody who love horse racings and maybe a little bit of competitive spirit in terms of like just wanting to race a daughter or a horse daughter, I guess, and seeing them actually win against other horses, this is probably the game for you. And since it's a chill game, it's probably a very, very chill kind of a side game that you can actually enjoy at the moment. wow, it's actually pretty hot. Eventually, they're gonna release more Umas and maybe even summer variants or special anime collab variants and stuff like that. But depending on how feasible their place is in the meta, you just pull according to guide videos online, because I just know there's way too much Umamusume videos nowadays, especially from the global side, since it's so hot in this first month anyway. So yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you like my videos, and I'll see you next time in the race track.
Oh yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel, please, if you like the video. Anyway, sayonara. Goodbye.